Hello everyone, welcome to Meetup Studies. In this video, we are going to solve one more interview problem as part of data engineer or data scientist interview preparation series using Pandas. You can see here that is question number 3. Written employee details whose salaries are higher than the average salary of all managers. Right. So it is given employee details like employee ID, employee name, manager ID, department and salary. Right. Now we need to written those employee details whose salaries are higher than the average of all managers' salaries. Right. So if you observe this problem carefully, we already solved this problem by using SQL. Right. I hope you have gone through that video. Okay. Now we are going to solve this problem by using pandas. Okay, let's solve this problem. You can see here I already read this data in frame format. This is the data, exact data is given. Now we need to return those employee details whose salaries are higher than the average of all manager salaries. How can we return? See here, it is given only single table, right? Now we have employee details. These are all employee details, right? But if you observe here, for each employee there is a manager, right? There is a manager's details also, right? So these all salaries are just employee salaries. Now we need to return in the first step. We need to return their respective managers' salaries. How can we return? Here it is a single table, right? So we have to use self join in SQL, right? Here, how we were joined there by using manager ID, and these managers also employees to that particular organization, right? So these manager IDs also employee IDs, right? So by using manager ID and employee ID, we are going to join, right? Now here in pandas we are going to use concept of merging, right? In first table we are going to use manager ID. In second table I'm going to use employee ID, so that we will be retrieving for employee ID 1, manager ID 3, right? So this 3 is nothing but employee ID 3 only. We will be retrieving, I mean this entire record will be joined in the first record, right? Next one for employee ID 2, manager ID is 4. This manager ID 4 is nothing but employee ID 4, right? So this 4 is going to join here, right? Likewise we are going to return all details of managers. Okay, now how can we merge this table? We have only single table and we are going to use the same table for merging. Okay, empl underscore info df. Now you can see this is the same data, right? So we are going to use merging of same table empl underscore info df. On which column base we are going to join, right? I mean merging. See here in first table, that is, I mean first table in the sense we can consider that as left table, right? And another table considering as right table. Okay, from the left table is nothing but just the first table. We are going to use manager ID, right? And the second table we are going to use that as right table, and we are going to take as employee ID. So if you use manager ID in the left table and in the right table is employee ID, we are going to merging on those two columns, right? So that we will retrieve manager's details, right? So in left table, what we are using manager ID. The right table, what we are using, I mean right on in the sense right. In the right table, what we are using employee ID, right? So if we join like this, you can see here for employee ID 1, who is manager, employee ID 3, right? So we are retrieving all three details here. You can see Madhav, who is 3, that is Madhav, right? So this entire record is going to join here. So here, next one 5, right? For employee ID 5, who is manager, that is 3 only, right? So wherever 3 comes in, these 3 record will be joined here. You can see all 3. Okay, similarly next one for 2 4, right? So 4 record, I mean this record will be joined here. You can see this, right? This is how we join, right? But if you observe this table, we are getting employee ID X, employee ID X, and here also Y, right? Because of we are not mentioned anything difference, right? So we have to make that as different, because of in the left table all are just employee details, in the right table all are manager details that we retrieved, right, by using merging. So we are going to make that as different by using suffixes equal to. We are going to mention for left table what is the suffix that we want, that is emp underscore emp. For the next table, I mean right table, what we have, I mean what we want to have, that is manager. Okay, now you can see we are getting employee underscore employee, right? I mean last suffix would be employee up to salary. So here up to here only employee details, and here onwards all details are related to managers. These are all managers, right? Now here I'm going to consider this as merged data. Okay, now if I call it, we will get all this data, right? Now what we want to return here, we need to find first all managers average salary first, right? How can we do that? So just returning only uh, what we have, what we want to return only manager, that is manager ID from employee and salary of managers, right? So we are going to return only this one. See here, why we are getting error here? We are calling two columns, right? So we have to keep in list format. List of, you can see now. Now you can see we are getting all managers and their respective salaries, right? So how to return the average salary of manager. So if you try to find the average here, you will get something value mean. You can see here we are getting for employee ID, and for example just take as only for salary, no need to consider manager ID, right? Salary underscore manager. Okay, now you can see here we are getting a value, but this value is same. I mean same in the sense here we are finding all managers average salary. That means a single manager would be a manager for different number of employees, right? So we cannot consider a single manager multiple types, right? Even a single, you can see here a manager ID 3 is a for example for employee ID 1 manager ID is 3, right? For employee ID 5 manager ID also 3, for employee ID 8 manager ID 3, right? So we cannot consider these three times. We should consider that 3 is a single person only, right? So we should consider only those 3 as single person, and we should consider those 3 salaries as single salary, right? We should not consider like that. Now if you observe this table, here we are finding the average for all, right? All in the sense you can see if I remove this one, for all, right? You can see 3 is repeating 3 times, 4 is repeating 2 times. Likewise we found the average, so we cannot do that, right? So 3 means only single employee, single manager. 4 means single manager, right? So then only we can find the average. We should consider only single value, right? So how can we remove this one? So we just use drop duplicate. Okay, drop underscore duplicates. Now we can see here we are getting only single values for each manager, right? So after that if you try to find the average for, let's see, I'm going to assign this as mgrs. Okay, mgrs, if I call it, this is the data, right? Now what I have to return, I have to return the average of salaries of managers, right? Salary manager, I'm going to use mean. Now you can see this is the average salary of all managers after removing duplicates, right? So this is the average that we need to compare with the remaining all salaries of employees. Okay, I'm going to assign this as average manager salary. Okay, I'm just calling this a value. This is the exact value, right? Now we need to return all those employee details whose salaries are higher than this value. Okay, now if I call this ampl info def, from this data we need to compare all the salaries of employees with this average salary, right? How can we compare? Here we need to compare from salary of employees, right? Have to be greater than the average of manager's salary. Now you can see we are getting, if this condition is true we are getting true, if not that will return only false, right? So we have to apply this condition to our given data, right? Now I'm going to apply this condition to, I mean employee info underscore df. Okay, now you can see here, so we are getting employee ID 3 and the salary is 75,000. This is higher than the average salary, that is 67.5k, right? So even if you see any values, all those values are greater than 67.5k. Okay, that is how we are returning all employee details whose salaries are higher than the average of all manager salaries. So even if we want to return the lesser salaries, we can define like empl underscore info df of empl underscore info df of salary has to be less than average manager salary. So we will get all less than values of 67.5k, right? So these all are the employees whose salaries are less than the average of all manager salaries, right? So this is how we will solve this problem. Okay, I hope you understood. Okay, even if you want to reset this index, you can just use reset underscore index. Now you can see 0 1 2 3. Here also you can get reset underscore index. Here also you can get it right, but here getting another right. So if you avoid that, just use drop equal to true. Now you are not getting it again right. So here also you can use drop equal to true. See, here also we are not getting it again, right? So this is how we can solve this problem. Here are the employee details whose salaries are higher than the average of all managers salaries. I hope you understood. Thank you for watching.